In this presentation, we're going to be looking at the requirements. A lot of people ask me, I don't have great credit. Can I still qualify? So, what are the actual requirements for participating in the rent to own program? Number one requirement, you require to have the 5% down. I've already spoken about that, but I cannot reiterate that so much. The higher money down, the better it is. If you have 10%, 15% down, fantastic. But you at least, absolutely at least require 5% down, without which there's not even looking at your application. Number two, there would be an expectation for you to be a permanent resident or a citizen at the time of purchase. Not right now. Right now, let's say if you are on your work visa and you're working towards your PR, we can do the rent to own program even right now because there is no transfer of ownership at this particular moment. There will be a transfer of ownership 3 years from now or 5 years from now at the end of the program. Before that, you require to either be a permanent resident or a citizen. There is an expectation and an executable plan for you to repair or build your credit if credit is your issue. So if credit is not your issue, if you have great credit, we just want to make sure that you continue to have great credit. But if your credit score is anything less than 740, the idea is that you would use this 2-3 years to repair it. It generally takes about 6 months for you to repair a good credit, depends on your situation. But we want to see a plan from your side so that you will be able to purchase the home in 3 years. The expectation is that you would have enough of down payment and income to get a conventional mortgage at the end of 3 years or at the end of period. You don't have to take a conventional mortgage. So the people who are looking at Islamic mortgages or want to save up completely and buy the entire home through a rent to own program and not have to worry about going through a mortgage, that's absolutely fine. But you need to have the ability to be able to close based on your income levels, which I expected 3 years from now. When I say your income levels, it could be your household income. If you do not have enough of income by yourself, you could get your spouse, you could get your siblings, you could get your children. They could all participate in this particular program, thereby increasing your chance that you would qualify for a conventional mortgage at the end of the period. Now, what are the typical mortgage affordabilities? Now, I'm not a mortgage broker, so don't hold me to this information. This is just for educational purposes. What I know of being the mortgage affordability. For your specific requirements, you can talk to your own mortgage broker, or I can put you on to somebody whom I like and I trust. But this is just a general guideline. The maximum amount of money you can borrow, so the mortgage, is about 4.5 times your household income. So you have an income of $100,000, you would qualify for a mortgage of $450,000. And you would require a minimum of 5% down for properties less than $500,000. So you would, let's say you had an income of $100,000, you had great credit, and you had $25,000 down. The maximum home you would be able to buy would be $475,000. Why? Because you require at least 5% of the amount as the down payment, 5% of the total home purchase. and you can borrow the 95% from a lending institution, which will also have CHMC insurance fees. But just generally, let's not get into the nitty gritties of how mortgages will actually work, but generally, this is what you will require. For any property greater than $1 million, you'd require at least 20% done. So in the GTA, we are looking at properties between $500,000 to $1 million. You need to at least assume that you'd have to have about 15% down there, which is a fair assumption for the property if you're planning to be in the GTA. If you want to go outside, maybe Hamilton or Bradford or Pickering or Kingston, you would get properties less than $500,000, not an issue. And we can look at any property in Southern Ontario. It does not have to be in the GTA.